Advocates expressing disappointment toward trustees with the York Catholic District School Board who have voted against flying pride flags for Pride Month. And joining us now to discuss the implications of this decision on the region's student body is the president of Pflag Canada York Region, Tristian Coolman. Tristian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll start off with your reaction to the decision not to fly the flag. Are you surprised at all?
A part of me is a little surprised. I know that the motion was crafted in a way to try to elicit the most support possible. And the motion itself, just flying the flag at a single location, the headquarters, in itself, I think speaks to where the school board is at. And if they couldn't even pass that, I think that really speaks to the character and the integrity of the trustee group.
What were some of the reasons that the trustees who voted down the motion gave for not supporting this symbol of something that's supposed to be inclusive?
Great question. Some of the examples that they shared were that the flag wasn't going to fix all the issues, in that all spaces within York Catholic should be safe spaces, and we agree with all of those points. But the thing is, we're not there yet, and the flag means so much to our community. It is a symbol. It's a symbol of hope. One trustee even dared say that it's just a piece of fabric, and that it's not capable of kind of carrying the movement, and so that trustee in particular probably needs to do the research because they don't know much about our history as a group. And just those examples alone, I think, really speak to the trustee group just being really out of touch with the times and also really trying to scratch and claw at whatever they can to justify their position.
Now, Pflag York Region has now officially deemed the York Catholic Board unsafe. What does that mean exactly?
It means that as you navigate through the board, whether you're a student or whether you're a staff member, and through examples that have been shared with us over the years, that you're likely to encounter situations that are going to challenge your identity, that are going to challenge your position in the world, and challenge it in a very negative way that is going to have possibly physical and mental health outcomes on you. And as you go through the processes with the board to try to, whether it's to hold bullies accountable, to hold other teachers accountable, admin accountable, and that's not to say that everyone within the board feels that way, but you're not really likely to feel that going through the process that your identity is affirmed through the results.
Now, the chair of the board, Frank Alexander, before the vote made a very passionate speech about discrimination and racism that he's faced and that he's seen within the board itself, and then went on to vote against having the flag raised. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, the experiences that Trustee Alexander shared, I think, do deserve attention as well. No one should have to feel othered, and no one should have to feel out of place or feel like the rules are being applied inequitably to them. But then Trustee Alexander used those same behaviors and applied them to those students. And as soon as he voted no, and as soon as the motion didn't pass, in front of me were two students who delegated last month, and they burst into tears. And that's what Trustee Alexander did. He took his experience, his negative experience, and he imparted that onto those students in front of him.
And student reaction, there were a lot of students and advocates who were there present at the meeting last night, but many others who have been advocating for this and wanting even just symbols of inclusivity and to know that there's a safe space for 2S LGBTQ students within their schools just to be put up around the school, and of course now this flag at the headquarters. What were some of the reactions that you've heard from students within the community and advocates in general now seeing this officially being shot down?
You know, the students, they are so incredible at supporting one another, and they're trusted adults within the school board as well. And, you know, I know that there is a network of support available to folks, but it's not as widespread as it needs to be, and that's why there are many unsafe spaces within the school board. And of course, safe spaces, they ebb and flow depending on where you're at and who you're with, right? And that's something that our community contends with a lot. And we just hope that those students and those staff can find that community amongst one another, and they can gather, and hopefully this school board looks at programs that allow them to do that. You know, things like GSAs, for example, are something that are very difficult to get off the ground in York Catholic, and that's one of the many reasons why we still consider that school board to be unsafe for the community.
Now, other school boards, Catholic boards within the GTA, including Toronto, Dufferin Peel as well, they fly the pride flag. So what message would you want to send to the province? Again, there's been a lot of talk about these boards being publicly funded through the province. We have reached out to Stephen Lecce's office to get his reaction to this, but in light of the fact that other Catholic boards do fly this flag, this symbol, and then you now see York Region or York Catholic Board saying no to this, what would you want to say to the province in the end?
You know, the trustees said last night that they spoke with Mr. Lecce off camera at one point, and they were at an event, and he said that the comments that he had made a couple weeks ago were directly pointed at York Catholic. So they're well aware of where they should be at, and they're not there. I think the province has done what they can. You know, it's certainly, you know, there's a lot in the conversation in the public, and anytime something like this happens, that Catholic schools should be defunded, and, you know, that's certainly not my decision to make, but I think it's something that the province should strongly consider.
All right. Tristian, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
All right.